Hear us a manufacturing story that sounds impossible, but I got the documents to prove it. What if I told you there is a car that started production the year Elvis had his first hit and was still being built when your smartphone was in your pocket? Seriously, 1956 to 2014. 58 consecutive years of the exact same basic design rolling off the same factory floor. That's not just production. That's industrial stubbornness on a scale that defies every business textbook ever written. Now, most of us have been taught that innovation means constant change. New models every year, new features, new designs. But today we're exploring the exact opposite. What happens when you don't change? What happens when you take a design from the Eisenhower administration and keep building it into the Obama years? Because here's the uncomfortable truth our discovery reveals. Sometimes the most valuable things aren't the newest things, they're the things that refuse to disappear. I want you to think about something in your own life that has remained unchanged for years. Maybe it's how you make your morning coffee, a route you drive every day, a tool you've used since you were young. We often dismiss these constants as just routine, but what if they're actually your personal version of industrial persistence? Today's story from a factory in West Bengal, India, is going to challenge everything you think about progress, value, and what truly lasts. And by the end, you will understand why collectors are now paying premium prices for what everyone else called obsolete technology. Picture a car, born in Britain in the 1950s, a symbol of post-war optimism. It's the Morris Oxford, a solid, reliable family car. But by 1959, its time in the UK was up, replaced by newer, sleeker models. In the world of automotive design, it was a fossil, a relic of a bygone era. But what if I told you that this fossil didn't just survive, it thrived for another 58 years? This is the incredible story of how one car, pronounced obsolete by the rest of the world, became a king in India. This is the story of the Hindustan ambassador. So how did this happen? It all starts in 1956, when the Indian company Hindustan Motors struck a deal. They bought the entire production line for the Series 3 Morris Oxford, the tools, the dies, everything, and shipped it all to a factory near Kolkata. In 1958, the first Hindustan ambassador rolled off the line. While the world moved on to fins, curves, and unibody construction, India embraced this British classic. And the reasons for its longevity are a fascinating lesson in culture, economics, and what we truly value in technology. First, let's talk about the context. For decades after its independence, India had a protectionist economy. Foreign car imports were heavily restricted, and the government controlled which cars could be made locally. This created a market with very little competition. The Ambassador, along with a couple of other models, became the default choice for an entire nation. If you wanted a new car in India for a big chunk of the 20th century, chances are it was going to be an Ambassador. It wasn't just a car. It It was Asterisk, the Asterisk car. But its dominance wasn't just due to lack of choice. The Ambassador was perfectly suited for India. Its high ground clearance and robust suspension were built for the country's often challenging roads. Think of it less as a car and more as a tank in a tuxedo, potholes that would cripple a modern sedan. The Ambassador just bounced right over them. It was simple, mechanical, and incredibly easy to repair. In a country where a highly trained specialist might be hundreds of miles away, any roadside mechanic with a basic toolkit could get an Ambassador running again. Spare parts were everywhere, and they were cheap. This wasn't a disposable piece of tech. It was a partner for life, something you could depend on. And this reliability turned it into a cultural icon. The Ambassador became the undisputed vehicle of power. It was the official car for government ministers, top-ranking officials, and prime ministers. A convoy of white ambassadors with their flashing lights was a common sight, a symbol of authority moving through the streets of New Delhi. For families, owning an Ambassador was a huge status symbol. It meant you had arrived. It was spacious enough to fit the entire extended family, and strong enough to carry everything you owned. It was the car for weddings, for long-distance journeys, for every major life event. Indians nicknamed it the Ambi and the King of Indian Roads. It became woven into the very fabric of Indian life, appearing in countless Bollywood movies and family photo albums. Of course, nothing lasts forever. As India's economy opened up in the 1990s, foreign automakers flooded the market. Suddenly, Indians had choices. Sleek, fuel-efficient, modern cars with features like air conditioning and power steering started to look very appealing compared to the old-fashioned Ambi. Its design, once a symbol of sturdiness, now looked dated. Its engine was thirsty, and its performance was sluggish compared to the new competition. Sales began to decline. Hindustan Motors tried to update it, adding new engines and features, but it was like putting a smartphone in a steam locomotive. The world had simply moved on too far. Finally, in 2014, after 58 years of continuous production, the last Hindustan Ambassador rolled off the assembly line. It was the end of an era. So, what can we learn from this remarkable story? The tale of the Ambassador teaches us that the best technology isn't always the newest or the most advanced. The best technology is the one that best fits the needs of its users and their environment. The Ambi survived not because it was fast or flashy, but because it was tough, repairable, and perfectly adapted to its world. It reminds us that value isn't just about cutting-edge features. It's also about longevity, resilience, and the deep cultural connections we form with the objects in our lives. The King of Indian Roads may no longer be in production, but its legacy as a symbol of persistence and dependability will drive on for generations. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, hit that like button and subscribe for more tales of incredible engineering and design. See you in the next video. Have you ever seen a car that's more than just a machine? A car that tells the story of a nation? A car that's woven into the very fabric of its culture? Today, we're talking about one such legend, the Hindustan Ambassador, affectionately known as the King of Indian Roads. This isn't just a car. It's an icon, a time capsule on 4 wheels. So, where did this journey begin? We need to travel back to 1957. Hindustan Motors, one of India's pioneering car manufacturers, was looking for a vehicle that could conquer the challenging Indian terrain. They found their answer in the British Morris Oxford Series 3. They acquired the rights and the tooling, and in 1958, the first Hindustan Ambassador rolled off the production line in Uttarpara, West Bengal. Little did they know, they weren't just building a car, they were creating a legacy. From the very beginning, the Ambassador was built like a tank. It's sturdy. Monocoque chassis and robust build were perfect for the unpaved and unpredictable roads of post-independence India. It was spacious, it was reliable, and most importantly, it was simple to fix. In an era where specialized garages were a luxury, any roadside mechanic with a basic toolkit could get an Ambassador running again. This simplicity and durability were key to its initial success. In its early years, the Ambassador was a symbol of prestige and status. Owning one meant you had arrived. It was the preferred choice for government officials, military officers, and affluent families. The sight of a white Ambassador with a flashing beacon became synonymous with power and authority. For decades, it was the quintessential Sarkari Gadi, the official vehicle of the Indian government. From prime ministers to district collectors, almost everyone in power was chauffeured in an ambi, as it was lovingly called. But the Ambassador's appeal wasn't limited to the elite. As India's middle class began to grow, the Ambassador became the ultimate family car. Its cavernous interior could comfortably fit an entire joint family plus their luggage. The sofa-like bench seats, both front and back, were a hallmark of its design, prioritizing comfort over modern ergonomics. For millions of Indians, their first family road trip, their first drive-in movie, their first major life event happened in the back seat of an Ambassador. It was the chariot for weddings, the ride to the hospital for a new baby, and the silent companion on long journeys. It wasn't just a car. It was a member of the family. Think about its design for a moment. That classic, rounded, almost bulbous shape is instantly recognizable. For nearly 6 decades, the core design remained virtually unchanged. While the rest of the automotive world was chasing aerodynamic lines and futuristic looks, the Ambassador stayed true to its roots. Sure, there were updates over the years. New engines, a few cosmetic tweaks, and different model names like the Mark II, III, and IV, and later the Nova and Grand. But the soul of the car, its unmistakable silhouette, remained constant. This design continuity is one of the reasons it became such an enduring symbol. It represented stability and permanence in a rapidly changing world. The ambassador also became the undisputed king of another domain, the Indian taxi fleet. Especially in cities like Kolkata and Mumbai, the yellow and black ambassador taxis were an iconic part of the urban landscape. They were workhorses running day and night, ferrying millions of people. Their rugged suspension could handle potholes with ease, and their simple mechanics meant minimal downtime for the drivers. For many tourists, their first real experience of India was a thrilling, bumpy ride in an ambassador taxi navigating through chaotic city traffic. However, the story of the ambassador is also a story of a changing India. The economic liberalization of the 1990s opened the floodgates for foreign car manufacturers. Suddenly, Indian consumers had choices they had never dreamed of. Sleek, modern, fuel-efficient cars from brands like Maruti Suzuki, Hyundai, and Honda entered the market. These new cars offered features the Ambassador couldn't match: air conditioning that actually worked, power steering, better fuel economy, and a more refined driving experience. The old King started to look dated. Its design, once a symbol of stability, was now seen as archaic. Its heavy build and old-school engine made it a gas guzzler, a major disadvantage as fuel prices soared. Sales began to decline. Hindustan Motors tried to keep up, introducing diesel and LPG variants, but it was fighting a losing battle. The very qualities that had made the Ambassador a success, its simplicity and unchanging nature, became its downfall in a market that demanded innovation and modernity. The younger generation, growing up with a plethora of options, saw the Ambassador as a relic of their parents' time. The Sarkari tag, once a mark of prestige, now felt old-fashioned. The government itself began phasing out the Ambassador in favor of more modern sedans. The taxi fleets also started shifting to more economical and comfortable models. The kingdom of the King of Indian roads was crumbling. Finally, in 2014, after 57 years of continuous production, the assembly line at the Uttarpara plant came to a halt. The last Ambassador rolled out, marking the end of an era. It was a poignant moment for India. A piece of its history, a witness to its journey from a newly independent nation to a global player, had officially retired. But is the story really over? Not quite. Even today, the Ambassador holds a special place in the hearts of many. You can still see them on the roads, especially in smaller towns and rural areas. There's a thriving community of collectors and enthusiasts who lovingly restore and maintain these classic cars. They see the Ambi not as an outdated vehicle, but as a beautiful piece of automotive heritage. Custom car shops are even giving Ambassadors a new lease on life, modifying them with powerful engines, luxury interiors, and modern features, creating unique retro-cool machines. The Hindustan Ambassador is more than just its technical specifications or sales figures. It's a repository of memories, a symbol of self-reliance, and a cultural touchstone for generations of Indians. It represents an India that was simpler, slower, and perhaps more connected. It tells a story of a nation's aspirations, its struggles, and its incredible journey. While its production may have stopped, the legacy of the Hindustan ambassador continues to roll on, carried forward in the stories shared by families, in the photographs from old albums, and in the passionate community that refuses to let the King of Indian roads fade away. It's a testament to the idea that some things are more than just objects. They become a part of who we are. What are your memories of the ambassador? Do your family own one? Do you take a ride in one of those iconic taxis? Share your stories in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. Thanks for joining us on this nostalgic journey. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories about iconic machines that shaped our world. See you in the next one. So what's the real takeaway from this 58-year manufacturing marathon? It's that value isn't always about being first or newest. Sometimes it's about being last and longest. The Hindustan ambassador teaches us that consistency creates its own kind of innovation. The innovation of perfecting rather than replacing. And here are your actionable insight from today. Look at what you've been doing consistently in your life or business and ask yourself, is this my version of industrial persistence? Is there value in not changing that I've been overlooking because everyone says you have to innovate constantly? Now, I want to hear from you in the comments. What something in your life that remained essentially unchanged for years? And how has that consistency created unexpected value? Maybe it's a product you keep buying, a service you keep using, a habit you've maintained. Share your stories of persistence, because hear what I've learned from studying these automotive time capsules. We're all building our own versions of the Ambassador Factory, whether we realize it or not. Our routines, our habits, our consistent choices, they're our personal production lines. If this story of industrial stubbornness resonated with you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because in our next episode, we're going to explore the exact opposite end of the spectrum. A barn find so perfectly preserved by complete neglect that it looks like it drove off the showroom floor yesterday. It's the beautiful duality of time capsule automotive. Sometimes things survive because they refuse to change, and sometimes they survive because everyone forgot they existed. The question is, which preservation story speaks to you more?